Hello, it's Dr. Sue Nichols here again from the Connected Reading Project team. And today I'm going to be talking with you about connecting ideas within a book. And we're particularly going to be thinking about how our minds behave during reading. And I'll just reiterate that when we're talking about reading a book, we're also including any kind of story or information text that you might also access on a digital device. Now, it's probably been a long time since you were little and you could only read quite simple books. So as adults, it's helpful for us to think about how we now read longer books like novels. Or if you're not too much of a novel reading type, then think about how you watch a movie. Novels and movies are long, complex. They have a lot more going on in the storyline. They have major characters, they have minor characters, sometimes they have flashbacks. And so during the course of reading a novel or watching a movie, sometimes we pause, or the advertisements might give us that opportunity, right? And we think about, where am I at with this story? We have to hold in our minds everything that's been happening in the story so far. So our minds are actually doing this mental reviewing activity. And not only that, our minds are reaching forward into the novel or into the movie to try to predict what's going to happen next. And that's what we call connecting within a book. And that's why I say that reading is not only a forwards activity but also a backwards one too. So I'm going to make reference to a particular reading session that happened quite spontaneously with a little boy that I'll call Lenny. And I was with Lenny and his mum, and we happened to be looking at a book, which you can see just behind me there. See that book with a blue cover and there's a bird on it? And that book is called Nothing Like a Puffin. So that was the book that Lenny picked up. And when he saw that cover, his first word was bird. He opened up that book and he started flicking through the pages. I'll just open up the book now. And you can see that on the inside cover, there's lots and lots more illustrations of the main character, the puffin. So when Lenny saw those illustrations, he got excited and he started to say, bird, 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 bird. Then he flicked through the book, every page he said bird. But when he got to a certain page, he said something different. Well, I couldn't predict what Lenny was going to say. What he said was, the bird has no wings. Then he went on to say that the bird is swimming in the water. So I saw an opportunity here that arose quite naturally from Lenny's noticing to do a bit of backtracking. Backtracking is when we stop in the middle of a book and we actually turn the pages the other way and go back to check on something, to maybe check on a hunch. So I said to Lenny, let's check, let's have a look back and see if the bird does have wings. Now, if at that point Lenny had gone, no, and wanted to keep on reading the book and flicking forward, then that would have been fine and I wouldn't have insisted on it. But he was quite curious, so together we flicked back through the book. And we could see that on every page before then, the puffin was shown flying with its wings outstretched. And Lenny said it has wings when it flaps them. What was happening there was that Lenny had been very observant. He had actually noticed a break in the pattern. Now, shortly after that, Lenny decided that he wanted to go and play with some friends. So off he went. And in fact, we didn't finish reading the book Nothing Like a Puffin. And that was fine too, because Lenny can go back and have a look at that book another time, and his mum can take different kinds of opportunities that might arise and maybe next time read the book all the way through. That's what we call backtracking, and that's an example of where the opportunity to backtrack arose because the child had noticed something. When you're sharing books with your children, sometimes you want to just read the book from beginning to end, and that's fine. But if we want to practice some of these connected reading skills and help our children to build their reading comprehension so they'll be better able to cope with more complex texts, then sometimes it's a good idea to make opportunities to actually stop and notice and sometimes go back and check things out within the book. And that's one of the ways that we can connect within a text. Thanks for your time today.